So I want to give you a quick example here. I mean, if you're listening to this, it's practice, semi-private, and private. Now, this doesn't have to be the case for every single business, but I think this is a good flow for you to understand and why this has been so meaningful for coaches. Okay, so someone went through an assessment, and at the end, you've determined that they don't have the financial means to really dedicate the amount of time necessary to get better. They can't see you and they can't work with you in the way that you want to. Fine. Their skills maybe aren't at a certain level, or they're just generally too young if you're working with juniors. So at this point, you're going to put them into a practice program, and this is going to be where group training comes in. They're now on your practice team, their practice squad, and you are supervising the practice. It works really, really well. The most important part here, though, is just like any traditional sports program, if you're out there as a skills coach, you schedule practice, they show up. You don't try to mix and match and make it fit everybody's schedule. They are going to adjust their schedule to you. And that group, that practice can be pretty large because none of it is individualized and you're running people through drill stations and practice games, stuff like that. Okay? Now, when you go into semi-private, now they've got a certain skill level, they've got a certain time commitment, and their financial means meet a certain thing. And you might be able to find the exact right people to pair them up with, especially if you're working with juniors. You can move them into pods of 3, have them compete with each other. It works really, really well, and everyone's getting a little bit more bang for their buck. Now, let's say this particular athlete has moved through practice or semi-private or tests immediately into this top tier because, again, their skills are at a certain level, their age and goal orientation match up with what you like to do, and they have the financial means to fall into this top tier program. Then you put them in it. And this top tier program costs the most out of all of those, obviously. And it's something where they're going to get this VIP white glove service from you, coach in their pocket. Now, I will remind you that CoachNow can and should be used with every single aspect of those training programs, but you can understand that the private one, it's just going to cost more and you don't have as many spots. So what I'm encouraging you to do, if people come to you and they go through an assessment, you don't turn them away unless they are completely off the radar for what you like to do. It's because you've niched yourself out and they just don't match at all and it won't be a good relationship and they won't match with anybody else. Turn them away. But you're going to reach a capacity for private. Then you put them into semi-private and then the practice. You can see how that all works together so you can really build a strong stable of athletes, so to speak, and you can move people up and down depending on where they are with their skills and their means to participate in these different programs.